Welcome to Hart, where we talk about games, movies, and animes, young and old. And today we're going to be talking about the show Season 3 specifically, but I guess I haven't really talked about Invincible at all, so I'll probably talk a little bit about some of the other stuff. I stumbled upon the Invincible comics maybe like 10 years ago or so, or maybe less, but basically I've read most of the comics. Not all of it, but most of the comics I did read because I just found them on Instagram. I was just flipping through, and then all of a sudden I'm just seeing an extremely bloody battle with a guy in a blue suit and then another older guy with a metal arm, and then some crazy stuff happens and I just couldn't put it down. And now fast forward to today, I finally get to see that shit being animated. Bangers, baby. Bangers and mash. The finale of Invincible Season 3, along with the whole season in general. Fucking beautiful. Chef's kiss. And I know that a lot of people just complain like crazy. It's driving me insane how much people are complaining about the animation stuff when I just think that's the actual last thing. Maybe we didn't have season 1 animation throughout the whole show, because season 1 animation, they blew their fucking load on that stuff, man. And they got you in, they got you good. And then season 2 was just rough. Not even with animation. It was just that they released 4 episodes, then they took a super long break, then they released another 4 episodes, which just broke the story up so much, and I really didn't like that release style that they chose to do. And they even addressed it, and they even go as far to address the animation stuff via an episode of him at a comic book store, or him at a comic convention, which is funny to me that they did that to kind of be like, please chill out, everyone. And now with season 3, we see a much more methodical use of that style of animation, where in this last episode here, season 1 animation makes a fucking return. They step it up where it needs to be stepped up in season 3. The show is always takes whatever chance it can to put a superhero trope and just turn it right on its head. It does that with everything, and I just really like and appreciate that. And with the show, with it being an adaptation of a comic book, it's kind of like a reimagining, where they are doing some things straight out of the comic book, 1-to-1, a lot of things on it actually. But especially in, this newest episode, they have added a couple things in. There is a certain monologue in this episode and the newest episode that they added that just builds so much to this one character, and this character just being fucking crazy basically. And I don't want to spoil stuff, but it's just so cool. So I guess, what is Invincible? For those who don't know, give a quick little update of that. Invincible starts off as a Justice League type show. We actually follow a group of superheroes that are basically mimics of the Justice League, saving the Earth, doing their thing. They even have a Superman type guy named Omni-Man. He's not from Earth, but he says that he's been sent here to help protect the planet from ongoing threats, until he becomes the threat himself, killing all of his former Justice League members. And it is insanely brutal how he does this. And even in the comics, I think it's a handful of episodes or a handful of chapters before we see anyone being really brutally murdered, with blood and stuff. And then swearing kicks in then, and they do a really good job in the show of also introducing that, where the whole first episode is you're just getting to know these superheroes, and then they just all die disgustingly, and everything just absolutely takes off from there. And the view switches from Omni-Man and this Justice League team to Omni-Man's son, Mark Grayson, who has recently found his superpowers and wants to protect the Earth under the name of Invincible. And his father is pretty much evil, trains him, tries to help grow his powers, but not for the reasons Mark thinks. Now, I'm not just going to go and recap all of season 1 and season 2, basically just getting there to say that once we do get through the events of season 1 and season 2, Mark refuses to be anything like his father, and that is something that he says, multiple times, that, I'm not dad, and tries to use his powers for good. But slowly, his anger comes out, and that hero's journey that we are so thought to be on isn't so much looking like a hero's journey, but it is still a hero's journey, but just a lot more bloody than before. In this whole season, he really struggles with the no-kill rule, even though he very much does kill, which I think is funny. But I guess in the scenarios where he's killing things or people, he knows that they can come back. Maybe that's how he mentally gets around that. But still, he's still definitely killing people. But that no-kill rule is tested multiple times in this season, and when he does not pull the trigger, it definitely comes back to bite him. Okay, now I want to get into some spoilers for season 3. So if you haven't seen it, you want to know if you should watch Invincible, you definitely should go watch it. It's a great show. It's a nice change up of the normal superhero formula. There's a lot of good characters with a lot of great moments. I think it's a show definitely worth checking out. So now season 3 spoilers. I love Rex so much, and they do such a good job of like turning him around and making him a likable character. Like, I think it's a perfect example of what the show does so well that the comics doesn't, is that like the comics don't give Rex this whole beautiful emotional arc, goes through love and loss, and he changes emotionally and mentally, and his outlook on life changes, and he has such like a heroic sacrifice that is so on tune with him and so fucking badass. By the way, he is easily a fan favorite, and his actions in the show are such a pinnacle point and really such a turning point for so many characters, and it's just so good. He's just so good, man. But fuck you, Rudy. Keep your stupid name. Why are you taking Rex's name? That's dumb. We don't like you like that, all right? And then Mark like very quickly makes it about him and Eve, and I kind of didn't like that either. I think they needed to let that scene breathe a little bit more. Rex's funeral, that is. They needed to let that scene breathe like a lot more. Even though I still liked it, it was still cute, and everything was still good, and you still are sad, but then you're still happy because Mark and Eve are together and they're happy, and then but they need to let that breathe a little longer. I'm so excited for what's coming, man. It's crazy, the shit that is coming down the pipe for that show. There's got to be at least 6 seasons planned, because I think that kind of makes sense. There might be more. It might be like 7 or 8, but I think 6 would make sense. I think we're about halfway through the comics at the moment, so 6 seasons could make sense. I'd love to do more. It's a great show. It's a great show. It's a great show. I think they've really found a good groove. Like, I really liked season 3. Like, you don't need season 1 animation for the entire thing. Like, you don't. You just need it when you need it for like the important parts, for the big fights, emotional scenes, and that's exactly what they give you. And I've said it before, and I've already said it, that it takes the superhero formula, spins it on its head a bunch of times, and this show will keep you on the edge of your seat. Like every single episode, it's always just subverting your expectations. Even though I knew what was going to happen, it still makes these like very interesting choices that they're doing to making it a little different from the comics, to still keep, I guess people like me still on the edge of my seats, because it's like, though I know what's happening, I wasn't expecting that. I really do think it's like one of the best adaptations just in general. It is so good, and it's not just pure to the original, it's enhancing it and just making it so much better. I really like the character changes they made. They made some really good choices in that, and I just love it. I just love the show. I could talk about loving the show for so long because it's just so good. But really, I just wanted to talk about season 3 and how good season 3 was, because there's just some crazy reviews out there that I've seen, and people are just so nitpicky and insane. I'm like, you're experiencing peak, you're watching peak, and like, you motherfuckers are calling this shit a PNG. What are you talking about? Like, it's just insane. Like, people are mad at not mad, but people are like unimpressed with one of the casting choices. Like, the best casting choice they could have picked for this one, for the villain at the end of season 3, and it's like, and y'all are mad at that? What are you talking about? It's so silly. It's so silly. IGN is so fucking stupid too. They have a Kreese review out there that I almost want to make a whole video about. Like, it's just crazy. But ignoring that, Invincible is peak. I love Invincible. I got my friend to draw me as Invincible, so I'm gonna put those somewhere. I'll put them at the end or whatever. But yeah, it's just so good. Yeah, we got a lot more where that came from on my channel here. Just Jacob with my recent video here. Is Monster Hunter Wilds worth it? I don't know. Is it? You must watch the video to find out. We had a nice react with Pokemon Presents a couple weeks ago, and I'm on a little bit of a horror movie binge with a review for Barbarian coming out very soon. So until next time, good afternoon, good evening, and tonight, and to all the comic book readers of Invincible, stop spoiling shit for everyone else. Let people enjoy the show. Okay, I'm going to play the game now. It's time to play the game. Which game is it? I don't know. Goodbye.